Everything kicks off with Happy Gilmore himself looking back on his life. After winning his very first tour championship back in 1996, he went on to have a stellar golf career, snagging 5 more golden jackets along the way. Off the course, life seemed just as perfect. He married Virginia Vennett, started a family, and together they raised 5 kids. He was loved, respected, and even got invited to appear on Saturday Night Live. At one point, Happy told Virginia he was thinking about retiring to spend more time with the kids. She smiled and reminded him that golf would always be a part of their lives, just like family. But then came the tragedy that would change everything. On Mother's Day in 2014, during what should have been a simple swing, Happy's shot accidentally struck Virginia in the head. The impact proved fatal. Her loss shattered him. Racked with guilt, he threw away his clubs and swore never to touch golf again. Without Virginia, who had always managed the finances, the family quickly spiraled. Bills piled up, responsibilities slipped, and eventually Happy even lost the house that once belonged to his grandmother. Happy and his daughter Vienna ended up in a cramped, cheap apartment. The neighborhood wasn't great, but at least it was close to his new job at a supermarket. That's where one day he met Frank Manatee, the hyperactive CEO of Maxi Energy Drink and founder of a flashy new golf league called Maxi Golf. Frank pitched the idea like it was the second coming of sports entertainment, but Happy wasn't interested. When persuasion didn't work, Frank got personal. He called golf outdated, accused Happy of wasting his talent, and even brought up Virginia's death. That was a mistake. Happy calmly asked for the store's security cameras to be turned off for 90 seconds, then threw Frank into a fish tank where crabs went to town on him. That evening, Happy watched Vienna practicing ballet. Her teacher later told him that Vienna had real talent, so much so that she'd already sent her audition tapes to the prestigious Paris Ballet School. They only take 4 students a year, and they wanted Vienna. The problem? Tuition was $75,000 a year. At dinner, Happy asked his kids how work was going. One joked around at a construction site, another ruled at the car wash, one was busy pulling pranks at the pharmacy, and the last spent his time clowning around at the airport. Frustrated, Happy reminded them they wouldn't even have to work if he hadn't blown all the family money. That night, Vienna told him not to worry. She knew Paris was too expensive. But Happy compared her dream to his own teenage dream of playing hockey for the Bruins. The only difference, he said, was that she actually had talent. And then he reminded her mom had been a brilliant dancer too. That night, Happy dreamed of his happy place, where Virginia appeared in lingerie with 2 frosty beers. She told him he'd apologized enough and that his kids needed to see the man she fell in love with again. The problem, Happy said, was that man was gone. She reminded him that he was never meant for hockey. He was meant for golf. Waking with determination, Happy went to the attic, pulled out his old clubs, and hit the backyard. His neighbor John Daly spotted him and told him there was only one way to make fast money: pick up the club and crush it. The next day, Happy went incognito to a local course to test himself against some young players. He was awful, missing every shot, falling over, and becoming the butt of every joke, until he remembered the words of his late coach, Chubbs. It's all in the hips. With one powerful swing, he sent the ball rocketing and smashing the flag. The kids were stunned, but his comeback wasn't smooth. After a golf cart crash, he was arrested for DUI and vandalism, then fired from his supermarket job. Meanwhile, his old nemesis, Shooter McGavin, was still in a psych hospital after stealing Happy's golden jacket years ago. When evaluated for release, Shooter swore he'd stay calm until they asked what he'd do if he saw Happy wearing the jacket. His outburst guaranteed he stayed locked up. At his first AA meeting, Happy reunited with Hal, the guy who used to care for his grandma. Hal's rehab program was intense and insulting, but Happy stuck with it. Vienna threw away all his hidden booze, and John Daly reminded him he'd never make $300,000 with a regular job. Slowly, Happy began training, learning from anyone, even a homeless man, and his shot started improving. Eventually, the president of the Golf Federation, Dougie, told him that Frank's Maxi Golf League was threatening traditional golf. A 5-on-5 showdown was arranged. Happy's old friends refused to play, so he recruited some pros, and Oscar, a fired waiter, as his caddy. Happy found a new happy place without alcohol, played brilliantly, and even resisted the temptation of offered beers. But on Mother's Day, memories of Virginia shook him, and he started drinking again mid-match, knocking him out of the top 5. The winner, Billy Jenkins, revealed he was a Maxi Golf player sent to mock the old tour. Then came a twist. Happy still got a chance to play when Billy backed out. But first, Vienna sent him to Slim Peterson, son of Chubbs. Slim told Happy the truth. Holding on to guilt was killing him. and forgiving himself was the only way forward. Inspired, Happy trained harder than ever with Slim, Shooter, and the team. On game day, the old-school golfers were booed, while the Maxi players, enhanced by surgical tweaks, dominated early. But one by one, the old-school team fought back, tying the score 2-2. It all came down to Happy and Billy on the final hole. Frank tried to make a deal, missed the shot, and join Maxi Golf or sink it, and Frank would give up everything: Vienna's tuition, a house, a Rolls Royce, even an Italian restaurant for Oscar. On a wobbly, tilting platform, Happy's ball stopped at the lip of the hole until Oscar fainted, tilting the platform just enough for it to drop in. The crowd went wild. In the end, Happy dedicated the win to Virginia's memory. Vienna left for Paris to chase her ballet dreams. The boys wanted to be mimes, and Happy walked down the road, clubs in hand, ready for the British Open. As for Frank, Maxi Energy drink was pulled from shelves after it was linked to severe mouth issues, including a brand new condition called rotten tongue. And that wraps up the wild ride of Happy Gilmore 2, from tragedy to redemption to one of the craziest golf showdowns you'll ever see. What did you think of Happy's comeback? Did this sequel live up to the original? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more scene-by-scene movie recaps, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Cinephile Decode, and turn on the bell icon so you never miss our next deep dive. Until next time, keep watching, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.